an example of this later on in the presentation. So the look and feel, what we're going for is a modern and timeless design. We'll have solid surface countertops. We're going to tile the walls, the floors, and all wet areas, refinish the existing hardwood floors. We're going to add a 4-piece kitchen appliances. And again, as an electrical engineer, I understand how important lighting is. So we'll use lighting, accent paint, and textured materials to create an elevated feel. The power of place. So this apartment is located in a great area. 2022, there was a $30 million investment in the Union Carpenters and Millwright Skills Training Center. That's 0.3 of a mile away from this development. The Joe Louis Greenway is within a 7-minute walk. You can stand on the porch and see the Greenway from the porch. Public transportation, it's near I-96, Davidson, Livernois, and Grand River. Public safety, the 10th precinct is within a mile. We're 4 blocks away from the Russell Woods Northern Park and also the historic Oakland Boulevard district. It's a densely populated area. According to the last census in 2020, there's been an 8% population increase since 2010. There are 2 grocery stores located within less than 2 miles, and we're near 2 schools, Hope Academy and Noble Elementary. So it's in a desirable location and a growing location, and we're just trying to lift up the area with this building. Is really the only building in the area that's in disrepair. So according to market analysis, and what I want to point out with this particular slide is figure 5 at the bottom of the slide. And what really is the success of the SNF neighborhood. So SNF 1, you'll see there's a 65% perceived change in property value there, positive change in property value. SNF area 2, there's a 43% perceived change in property value. But the thing that stands out most to me about this chart is the non-SNF areas. So 29% of the residents of non-SNF areas have a perceived view that their property value has increased. And this development is outside of the SNF area. And I want to complement the success of that program by redeveloping this development. Now, if you look in the upper right-hand corner, there are 2 triplexes that I'm using as comparables. There are no other quads in the area. I view my building as 2 quads, similar to these 2 triplexes. They're recently remodeled, and what they're offering, and they're listed at 55% AMI, but what they're offering at most is the water utility. The area is naturally occurring affordability at 45% AMI, and I'm listing and will list these units at 60% AMI. But what I'm offering in the differentiator between my units and the triplexes here, for example, is cost certainty. So in addition to water, I'm including all utilities. We're talking water, electricity. There will be no gas available at the unit, but I'm also offering things that aren't typically offered in housing: free Wi-Fi, central air, and laundry. So why am I doing this, or how am I doing this? We'll explain in the coming slides. So when you're creating your development, you have to understand the product, your problem. So in 2022, the state of Michigan developed the Michigan Statewide Housing Plan. The first time they've done this, 47% of the housing stock in Michigan is old. That's prior to 1970. This building was built in 1965. 48% of the renters in Michigan are cost burdened, meaning the cost of housing plus utilities is over 30% of their income. And then we're a shortage of 190,000 housing units to meet the demand in the state of Michigan. Secondly, if you drill down further, the city of Detroit created a 7-point housing plan. Point 2 of that housing plan was to convert long vacant or blighted buildings into affordable housing units for Detroiters. This building, in my view, can solve a lot of these issues and can be a contributor to the solution. And how we do it is to optimize the property's potential through efficiency. So we'll transition from combustible mechanicals to all electric functionality, removing harmful fumes and eliminating pollution from the structure. We'll manage rising energy costs through a gross rent structure, inclusive of utilities, for a more consistent monthly bill. We're prioritizing comfort, health, access, and affordability. So the question again is, how am I doing this? And I get asked that often. And my answer to this is that I'm not a developer that redevelops old structures. My intention is to really build a better thermos. And that's how I approach redevelopment. So understanding how a thermos works, you can pour something hot or cold in that thermos and it will remain hot or cold for some instances up to 30 hours. So if you view a building in the same light as a thermos, if you over insulate beyond what's minimum code, you can achieve the same thing. So you insulate the building at climate appropriate insulation, you eliminate thermal bridging, you minimize heat transfer with high performance windows, and you've essentially created a thermos, but it's a building, a structure. And what that does is when you highly insulate a structure, you create you hold on to the heat or the air conditioning a lot longer, meaning your furnace or your air conditioning is running fewer times. And if it's running fewer times, that means you're spending less to run those units. So if you're spending less, you're saving money. And estimates show you can save up to 30% just with insulation. And this follows the passive house design. That is the simplest definition of the passive house design. Insulate as much as possible and you'll save money. You'll use less energy. So if you reduce your energy consumption just by highly insulating the structure, what if you buy a highly efficient furnace? So the most efficient gas furnace on the market is 98%, meaning every dollar you spend to heat your home, 98 cents goes to heat, 2 cents goes out the chimney. That's the most efficient furnace. But what if you can heat your home and cool your home even more efficiently? So utilizing geothermal, some estimates show it has a 300 to 500% efficiency rating. Well, how do you do that? How do you get over 100%? Well, if the ground is always 55 degrees underground, 10 to 20 feet underground, it's always 55 degrees. So it's more efficient to transfer existing heat from one location to another than it is to create heat out of nothing. So understanding that concept, you've highly insulated the building, you've created a super efficient way to heat and cool it, and now you add solar to the top of the building. And so the energy that you are using, you're offsetting with the solar energy being produced on the roof. And estimates for this particular building show that it's a possibility to save $5,000 annually on electric savings. And when you do that, you've now flatlined your utility use throughout the year. So if you're just going based on gas and electricity in our typical model, in the wintertime, that gas bill shoots up. So when you're talking affordability, you've covered your rent. If your rent is stable throughout the year, you don't know what your gas bill is going to be from month to month in the wintertime. Same thing in the summertime if you have air conditioning. Your electric bill may spike in the summertime, June, July, and August. So through this model, we're able to shave the peaks off of those levels of high usage and create a level utility usage throughout the year. So we've spoken about creating a plan, changing behavior, and now we're looking at taking advantage of what the market has in store. So the Inflation Reduction Act has created an investment tax credit to 30% when you're implementing renewable energy sources. So environmental justice adders, low income community, 10% adder. Affordable multifamily tenant, a 20% adder. Low income community solar, another 20% adder. And these aren't individual adders, they're stackable. So tax incentives can cover up to 70% of potential projects. But there's more. So modified accelerated cost recovery system, also known as MACRS, for any developer that's on this call, or those that are not developers, you can depreciate a real estate development, I believe it's 25 years. What MACRS allows you to do is fast forward 60% of that depreciation into year one and take the remaining 40% over the next 4 years. And the state MACR does something very similar. So the point of this slide that I want to drive home is that developing with energy efficiency in mind positively impacts the bottom line immediately and over time. So again, I'm nerded out about this stuff. I'm an electrical engineer. I love these things, but I'm not just spewing theory. This is something that I've done in the past. The Grand Oaks apartment development is the next step to that. So this is an office building that I own on Greenfield. It was developed in 2020 during the pandemic. I used above code insulation, high efficient furnaces, 2 furnaces there. They're 95% efficient, and a ton of LED lighting. So with those 2 furnaces in the wintertime, only one of the furnaces has ever ran. In the summertime, there are 2 air conditioners. Only one of the air conditioners has ever ran. That's because the building is so tight and well insulated. So it's 16 units. The square footage of the building is 4,000 square feet, very similar to this apartment building at around 5,100 square feet. I'm offering the same amenities at this office building, all-inclusive rent, utilities included, water, HVAC, electricity, bonus amenities, same as the apartment building, laundry, Wi-Fi, off-street parking, and the utilities, gas and electric at this building for 4,000 square feet is $450 a month. So this is not something that is just a dream for me. This is something that's doable, and this really is the way that development should move forward in the future. And with that, I will open the floor to questions.
Great, thank you so much. We can go ahead and open the floor to questions. If you're on Zoom, please click it's now a heart symbol to react, to raise your hand. Or if you're on the phone, if you press *9, you should be able to do it that way. Okay, Mr. Rubin, you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
You know that name said Monkey Wrench Rube, but my question I was going to ask is, I listened to you and that sounds very, very interesting. I'd like to find out more in detail about this development you have and the projects you have going forward. Can you supply us with your contact information, either a telephone number or email address, so that we can contact you?
Yes.
Okay, if we can, if you want to put that in the chat, Shocker, and we can go ahead and just share that. Or I do see an email on the screen as well for anyone that is on Zoom. So we'll make sure you get that contact information. Okay, and our next hand is Miss McLennan Smith. You should be able to ask your question or your statement.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for taking my question. Mr. Mans, I'm like really impressed. I kind of go to the Detroit Training Center and learn things here and there. So I'm kind of familiar with a lot of the things that you mentioned. So I'm very, very impressed with what you are saying. The question that I have for you, I know that you have all these projects, but I have like a family home that I have acquired because my grandfather passed away. And so my dad is staying in there. And so we have some things that we need to do. And I know that your business is a construction business. Do you do like single family residential homes, or are you primarily dealing with office spaces, multifamily apartment buildings and things of that sort? Do you help someone who just have a single family home?
We do. Yes, I do.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Are y'all accept? Because I don't want to put anybody like out there, but I've been trying to get a lot of things done at the house, and I've been scammed, and it's just been terrible. And when I tried to complain to the state, they're like, well, Detroit is own entity. You got to go through Detroit. And so it's hard for me to find somebody that's reputable. And so I like what you're doing, and I need help.
Gotcha. I put my contact information in the chat, so reach out.
Thank you. And if you don't mind reading the information just one time for those on the phone who can't see the chat, if
Sure.
that's okay.
Yeah. So again, my name is Shocker Mans. My phone number is 810-210-2355. My email address is Flintstone, like the cartoon, construction, LLC @gmail.com.
Amazing. Thank you. And our next hand is Ms. Varner. You can go right ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Mans. We need you on the Thinker Corner. I am president of the Soda Ellsworth Black Association. We're working with the city of Detroit to do work on our Finkel corridor from Finkel in Illinois to Finkel in Wyoming. And there's going to be a meeting in March. Our beloved Miss Alexa Davis knows all the information. And so please, 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 if you got some time, just come by to hear what we're doing, because we need you. Thank you so much for this time.
No problem.
Thank you, Ms. Varner, and I'll definitely make sure to share that flyer. Okay, and our next hand is Ms. Hazel. You can go right ahead.
Thank you. This is so inspirational to see what you're doing, Mr. Mans, and I am just hopeful that you have time in your schedule to do some career days at our public schools with our students, because as you just said, you're all nerded out, but we need more nerds like you, and our children need to know what they should be doing now, elementary school, middle school, high school, to move into careers like yours, to become engineers, whether it's electrical, mechanical, whatever it is. But I do hope that you have some time in your schedule to do that, as I am definitely telling my friends who are teachers to connect with you, because our children need to have this type of aspirational message to know what they should be doing to prepare for careers in the future. So nerds unite, and I'll leave you with this: mathematicians. Why mathematicians? Because physicists need heroes too, right?
You're the second person to ask me to speak to the schools today.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hazel. And with that, is there any other questions for this presentation? All right, I don't see any other hands. I do want to piggyback on what was all said already. This is very important, very crucial, especially for this part of the city. District 7 is up and coming. We're just looking forward to just more development, more projects, and just bringing back our district to life. So thank you so much for this presentation and all that you do. And it will make sure, if you're interested, if you want to send over your slides as well, I can make sure to share that with the district for those that weren't able to attend today.
Sure.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
All righty. So I just want to give a special thank you again to all of our guest speakers. Thank you so much for joining, sharing all that important information. And I'm going to go ahead and just share a few last minute announcements. Give me 1 second. Apologies. Oh, I do see a question. I'm not sure if it's for the guest speaker, Miss Denise iPhone. You should be able to unmute and ask your question or statement.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I wanted to ask concerning the project on Oakman, what was the projected date of completion for that project?
Shocker, if you're still on, if you're able to answer that question.
Yes, it's expected to complete December 25, 2025.
Awesome. Thank you so much again.
Yep.
All right. And again, his information is in the chat. If anyone just wants to reach out, if you want to just reach out to me and Courtney, and then we can just always forward it to him. If you have any maybe invitations, I definitely am going to connect you with our youth affairs team for especially the GDYT programming is happening. We definitely need them to hear stories like this. So just again, thank you so much. We're just looking forward to the continued collaboration. Okay, so just to end our meeting, I'm just going to share a few flyers. Okay, so again, today we had our master plan, Detroit Recycles in Oakman Boulevard project. So we'll go ahead with some announcements. So first, tomorrow, actually, the youth affairs team with our department is actually having an Ideas to Impact panel. So as you can see, I am on the panel for tomorrow. Accompanied by Mr. Howard, Ms. Foster, and Mr. Bradley. It is tomorrow at 6 p.m. at the Carpeting Millwright Center off of American in Grand River. So if the register for the Eventbrite is closed, you can always still join. This is just so we can get a head count for food. There will be dinner provided. And just so you can hear a little about our journey as young employees for the city or entrepreneurs. I personally will be talking about just my journey and being a deputy manager to district manager, growing up in District 7, and just how grateful I am for this opportunity, and just to maybe just impact someone in a room to work for the city, do GDYT. So if you just want to hear a little bit more about my story and are the 3 other panelists, please come on out. So again, it'll be tomorrow, Thursday, February 27th, tomorrow at 6 p.m. It should be around an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, and then next, tomorrow also, if you're able to stop by between 3 to 5 p.m., this is mainly for the residents that live around the area of Fullerton over the I-96 bridge. So there is a proposed project to remove that Fullerton Avenue Bridge over I-96. So we did have a virtual open house during this meeting, but of course, if you're on right now, you can still join the conversation in person at Adams Bustle tomorrow from 3 to 5. So again, this is for the proposed project of the Fullerton Avenue Bridge being removed over I-96. And that is being led by the DPW team. And I'm just going to pass it on to my partner, Courtney, to speak on some more announcements.
Hello, everyone. We have our citywide block club meeting, which is coming up. Calling all registered block clubs and individuals wanting to start a block club. So please attend this meeting if you are interested in a block club or if you are a part of a block club. The meeting will be Wednesday, March 19th from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Northwest Activity Center, 18100 Myers Road. Light refreshments provided. There will be presentations on how to start a block club, the Motor City Makeover program we have, and the Director of Sustainability will be there. We also have resource tables that will be at this event as well. So you guys can connect with representatives from various city departments from 5:30 to 6 p.m. We are encouraging you guys, again, if you're a part of a block club, if you're a block club leader, if you're interested in starting a block club and would like to know more about it, please attend this meeting. We also have a community safety and preparedness summit. We want to connect you guys with our community. So it's put on by the state senator, Sylvia Santana. The Detroit Police will be there, the fire department, Eastside Community Network. And it will be Thursday, March 6th from 5:15 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. at the Henry Ford Centennial Library, 16301 Michigan Avenue, Dearborn, Michigan.
Thank you. Thank you, Courtney. And if you just wanted to speak on what we're planning to do with the District 7 Block Club specifically.
So we're planning a District 7 Block Club meeting specifically for our Block Club leaders to get together with other District 7 Block Club leaders where you guys can connect and collaborate and just share ideas of what works in your communities. I know some things you guys are doing to stop illegal dumping or blight. So that meeting will be sometime in April, and we're working on putting that together. So again, you guys can meet some of the other Block Club leaders within District 7.
Awesome, thank you, Courtney. And other than that, I just want to let everyone know Motor City Makeover Flower Day is happening, of course, this year again. We're waiting on dates. Of course, District 7 is usually around the last or the third weekend in May. So we're looking at May 16th for the supply pickup and flower pickup. We like to do it the same day, so it'll be a little bit easier for you all. Sorry, my camera's not on. A little bit easier for you all to pick up, so you don't have to go back and forth on different days. And then the actual cleanup day, TBD, at the moment is the day after. It's always on that Saturday, so May 17th. So we're getting the flyers from our volunteer coordinator, Ms. Tony Stovall, and that definitely will be shared at least by the end of March. So you have that information, and we'll just share the steps needed to register and just more information on that coming soon. And with that, I believe that is all the announcements at the moment. I do just want to also say our goal this year for District 7 is to strengthen our block clubs and associations. So keep a lookout for some emails asking for invitations where we can go out when it gets a little bit warmer to go door to door, especially if we have the GDYT interns, where we can physically put flyers of invitations to your meetings for those residents that haven't been able to join or just maybe not know about it. We really want to increase participation. We know some presidents may want to pass the torch, and we just haven't had enough residents able to join those meetings to do that. So around the end of March, once it gets a little bit warmer, me and Courtney, and with the help of our department, we will be out going door to door to every neighborhood. We want to make sure every neighborhood has a neighborhood association. We want to make sure block clubs have at least 10 to 15 residents that are paying dues, that are having monthly meetings. So if you just have any questions in the meantime to how to strengthen it, of course, always invite Courtney and myself. If your meetings change, let us know. But we really want to make sure that we strengthen these block clubs this year. And with that, I'll go ahead and just make sure to leave this slide up with our contact information. Again, my number is 313-236-3516. Courtney's is 313-236-3540. Always leave a voicemail in case we're in a meeting, and we definitely will get back to you. Or if you want to reach out to us, our emails are on the screen for a faster response. And with that, I'm not sure, Ms. Varner, if that was an old hand, but I'll go ahead and unmute if you just had another question or statement.
No, I had forgot to lower my hand, but since you gave me this chance, I'm just going to say thank you and Courtney for doing a great job being responsive and doing all that y'all can do to improve and make District 7 the best that it can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Varner. Thank you for all that you're doing. Your leadership is not taken for granted. We appreciate all the Block Club leaders who have been doing this for years, staying strong. We want to make your lives easier, so just keep a lookout for canvassing and just having more participation. That is our main goal, of course, with eliminating blight. So Mr. Abrams, you should be able to unmute and ask your question or statement. Sorry, let me try one more time. There we go.
Okay, I got it. It's there. Can you put back up that slide that's talking about the closing of the Fullerton Street ramp? Or could you drop that in the chat? That's the first I've ever heard of that one.
Yep, so this one was brought to our attention, like the date and everything, not too long ago, maybe at the most 2 weeks ago. And then we just were able to put it on Facebook and our Gov Delivery. Since it's proposed, I don't think it is definite as of yet. I think they want to get feedback from everyone. So if you're unable to make this meeting tomorrow, if you want me to send over any questions, or if you want to speak with anyone from the Complete Streets team directly, just write me an email, leave a voicemail with your number, and I can definitely do that.
So much at your, I will do that. Thank you so much.
Of course. And I'll just leave this up for maybe 20 more seconds to put our information back on. And then I do have another hand, Ms. Smith.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. This question is actually for you and Courtney. First, I want to say thank you for everything that y'all are doing. I've had the opportunity of volunteering with you all, and it's just been a joy getting more active in District 7. I primarily do things in District 1, but just getting to know my neighborhood right now, because I'm renting over here. So it's amazing. So I just want to say thank you to both of you. My question is that my work schedule overlaps a lot of these types of meetings. And so I'm wondering, is there a way that I can get a copy? I noticed that this one was recorded, but like a copy of it, or how do I get informed? Because emails is just very high level. It doesn't go into too many details, but these meetings have great substance, and I would like to remain informed, but I just can't get here. Today I was lucky enough to get off work earlier, so that's why I came.
Gotcha. We used to do it live on Facebook, but unfortunately, our department had to stop doing that for the time being. I am recording this for the departments just in case they need it for their records. So I have been posting the presentations, but like you said, you do want to hear what was said. So I just have to get permission and authorization from my directors. But if you want to just send me an email reminding, and then I can reply to that with the presentation recording, if I'm able to do so, I'll definitely be able to do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And again, thank you for everything that you both are doing.
Thank you so much. Okay. Oops, sorry. I pressed unmute again. And we have Mr. Early. You should be able to unmute and ask your question or statement.
Okay, hello, how's everyone's evening going? I have a question. My question is, does the city council members have any recommendation to maybe resegregate Detroit giving the failing housing structure. There's some people who can't fix their roofs, or, a lot of different things going on through grant programs, maybe any type of intervention. And that's my question. Thanks a lot.
Of course. I did see staff member from City Council Durhall's office. I'm not sure if they're still on. If you're able to raise your hand and I can mute if you're able to answer that question. If not, I don't want to speak on their department, but I can pass that question along. So if you actually can email that, just in case I forget any part of the question, my email is right here on the screen, and I'll definitely pass that along for you. Okay, and then Mr. Abrams, did you have a second comment or question?
No, I'm sorry. I'm old and forgot to pull it.
No problem. Zoom is a lot. Okay, so that's really it for this evening. So again, here's our information. Thank you so much for joining tonight. We appreciate the participation. I do want to say, I hope we still have at least 40 people on. Okay, we are having B-Seat on next month. We understand that's a heavy topic. There's a lot of questions to be asked about the tickets, the correction orders, what exactly is not compliant, and just them giving an updated presentation on what the BC department is. And for those who don't know what BC is, it's Building Safety Environmental Enforcement Department, and they are basically the department that deals with private property. So if you have a neighbor not bringing in a trash can, we have a specific district inspector that goes out and they write what is called a correction order, which is basically a ticket that says this needs to be corrected by this amount of time, which is usually 3 weeks. So I'm not sure if our specific inspector, Strickland, who's doing amazing in District 7, will be on, or his supervisor, but they are planned to be on for March. So if you want to just spread the word to your group, anyone that may be having these issues or concerns, just so they can get that feedback, and, get that presentation and provide feedback, they will be on the next virtual meeting. So with that, that is all for tonight. Thank you so much to our guest speakers again, and for all our amazing residents for joining and providing feedback, questions. You guys really make the difference. And again, if you have any issues, questions, never hesitate to reach out to Courtney and myself. Thank you, and I hope you all have a great, safe night.